Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another My Team video. Today we are going to take on the Japanese Grand Prix. Only 4 races remaining until the end of the season. Can we still become world champion? That's a question that will get answered in a few races time. But first we need to take on the Suzuka International Grand Prix. And of course it's time for qualifying. As you can see, it's a cloudy day here in Japan, in Suzuka. And we are going through the first and second corner to start our first flying lap. Of course we need to set a good lap to make sure that we can get through to the next part of qualifying. But I feel like that should be possible because we have a good car and we are quite well at this track. As you can see, P2 in our first run. George Russell goes fastest, so we are dropping a bit down. Eventually we drop down to P13. So we need to go out again, as we do with only 1 minute remaining. Starting our second and final lap here in Q1 as one of the last guys to cross the line. And I feel like this could be a good one for us to get ourselves up into the top 10, or at least I hope so. At the moment not gaining that much time, we even lost a tenth. But looking out of the first and second corner, it's almost the same as we did before. And into the hairpin we go 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, half a second even. So we lost a lot of time in our first lap there in that hairpin. So luckily we can gain that back so that we can gain our spots in the top 10. Of course it's only the top 16 that goes through, so we are still safe. But I feel like it's good for us to see where we actually are, and we are in P7 for Q1, so that's good for us because that means that we can get into Q3 as well. So now looking at the results, you can see for us it's P7. Fernando Alonso goes fastest at the moment. Both the McLarens are also strong, and my teammate in P9 is also doing a good job. Still 7 tenths of pole. I feel like that gap is just because I didn't get a good run in. I feel like I could have improved maybe 4 or 5 tenths here and there. But now in Q2 you can see it's only one run that I show you. And we are in between Alonso and Perez. So Perez at the moment in P12, Alonso in P10. So if this stays like it is, then we are out and Perez is out as well. But we are improving 3.5 tenths through spoon curve. That's what we need, of course. 4 tenths, even half a second. Once again gaining. Qualifying is complete, but we need to complete our lap, as we are the final driver to complete our lap. And as you can see, through the final corner we go 8 tenths improvement. Will it be enough? I do think so. Yes it is, and it's P4 in Q2. Can we make it even better in Q3 with a pole position maybe? We'll find out in just a second. But taking a look at the results, Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso are out of qualifying. Ferrari and Red Bull only have one car into Q3. So we have an advantage there. We of course need to qualify well because we want to win the constructors and win the driver standings as well. No other surprises at all. I feel like it's normal for an Aston Martin, AlphaTauri and a Williams to go out in Q2 as well. But now this means that we have 2 McLarens, one Mercedes. Wait, one Mercedes? What? That means that one of the Mercedes went out in Q1. Oh boy, I didn't even see that. I just noticed it right now as we are in our final lap already. 1.5 tenths improvements in P5 we are at the moment. Liam Lawson and Esteban Ocon are behind us. But they are improving their time as well. So currently in P5 we want to overtake Verstappen and Ricciardo to take a spot in the top 3. Of course, the far ahead we go in the grid, the easier it gets for ourselves in the race. Qualifying is complete for the final time here in Japan, and we are going around the final few corners, coming towards the start finish straight. Is a 4 tenths improvement. Is it enough to take pole position? No, it's not. It's only P4. But of course my teammate is still here, and I feel like he could have done a good job as well, as the car is really upgrades through this track, and it's actually pole position for Oscar Piastri. Leclerc in P2, Daniel Ricciardo in P3, and myself in P4. Red Bull driver Max Verstappen in P5, and George Russell in P7. The gap to pole position only 3/10, so we are really strong today. Can we keep that form to the next session, or should I actually say the big race? Of course, the next session is the race. Let's go towards the race. Wow, I say the race a lot.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issa Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today at the Japanese Grand Prix? 18 corners make up a lap of the incredible figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit, with 10 to the right and 8 to the left, for a distance of 3.6 miles. Average lap speeds around here are fairly quick. If it stays dry, then expect somewhere in the region of 136 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have the engineer, Verstappen, Liam Lawson and Russell, Ocon, Gasly, Ticktum and Sergio Perez. Oscar Piastri, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris and Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Albon and Sir Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll, Joe, Magnussen, Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about the engineer. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Of course, Oscar has to take a penalty right now. Unbelievable. But it's time for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. We don't have the worst start, we don't have the bad start. It's just a good start for us. Only losing 2 positions to Max Verstappen and George Russell. And as you can see, contact is made with Pierre Gasly. But luckily no damage for us, because in simulation damage that could have been a puncture. But luckily it's not, as we continue our first lap. Oh my god! That was close to George Russell's car. Let's not do that again. We need to take this position back, as we want to finish this ahead of Leclerc and Verstappen. They are on our main rivals in the championship, and it's only a 3-way fight as we go towards the final few corners in this lap, and we make George Russell log up, and that means that we can take P4 at the end of lap 1. Into lap 2 we go, as Leclerc puts in the fastest lap. Of course, he is the first one to cross the finish line after ending lap 1, so of course he gets his fastest lap. As we are now close to Verstappen, can we do the same to him? No, we cannot. We tried to do a line that was different to his, but unfortunately it didn't work, as we lost all traction on the curb. So we need to wait just a little bit longer. Of course, we are faster than him through 130R, and it looks like he just breaks out of nowhere. But we unfortunately couldn't make that work for us to get a position. But now in lap 5, going into the first corner, we go side by side with DRS enabled, and we take the position, but we go wide. Oh no! And Verstappen takes the position once again. Oh my god! Can we just hold position? Can we just make a deal that I get P3 and I can take you along to Daniel Ricciardo as we go through 130R once again, going for the inside line, and once again it's not an overtake. This time we try to use a different line. It works better than before, and we are still behind him, but can we make it work this time around? We have DRS, we have ERS, we have straight line speed. We go side by side, go towards the outside, and we take P3, and that's us in the podium paying positions at the moment. But of course Max Verstappen is not the worst driver, so he probably wants to take this position back. But as long as we can keep it on track through the first and second sector, we should be fine. as we are much faster than the AI in Sector 3. So at the moment in lap 11 already, you can see the gap to Ricciardo ahead is 2.2 seconds, Leclerc 5 seconds ahead, and Verstappen is still within 1 second. So we can't really get away from him. He still is within that 1 second gap for DRS, so he is just not letting go of that one position as it's lap 12. And it looks like we are finally getting within 1 second of Daniel Ricciardo. As you can see, into the final chicane we go. But it's time for us to get into the pits and make sure that we go onto the hard tires. And as you can see, we don't go too hard and we can make it in without a penalty. Verstappen goes into the pits as well, so we need to make a good pit stop, otherwise we will lose that position and we don't want that, of course. So, turn in is optimal. That's great. 2.2 seconds. That is our estimated stop time. And will it be that? No, it won't. It is 2.3 seconds. But still, that's fast enough to stay ahead of Max Verstappen. We drop down to P7. Never mind, P8. As Ocon goes past as well. But he still needs to make his pit stop. We are currently in, I would say, P3 virtually. As there is a yellow flag, and that means that Robert Schwarzman is out of the session. He is out of this race and won't be taking part anymore as the drivers ahead of me go into the pits. And as you can see, we go through the start finish straight. Teammate is in the pits. Lap 14 has started. Do we come out ahead of Russell? Yes, we do. Do we come out ahead of Ricciardo? No, we don't. We are still 3 seconds behind, but he is on cold hard, and you can see that because the gap has shrunk from 3 to 2 seconds in just one corner. Of course, the AI is much less affected by cold tires, so we don't gain as much as we hoped. But I feel like we can make that time up as the gap is only 2 seconds to Daniel Ricciardo. We only lost 1 second in the pit stop phase, but now in lap 17, within 1 second we are, and we are going to try and overtake him as soon as possible, because that is what we need. We need to do damage limitation to Leclerc. Of course, he is leading the Grand Prix with 5 seconds. 10 laps to go. Can we still overtake Leclerc? I don't know. He is, I want to say, quite fast. And I think I should say that as we speed it up a little bit, just to make sure that we can see the things that we need to see. And as you can see, we go through 130R once again. We go for the same move we did on Russell. We go towards the inside line. Can we overtake him? Yes, we can. And we are up into P2. 5 seconds to Leclerc. Can we make it up in 10 laps? Let's find out. As we are now in P2. Ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, ahead of Russell, and ahead of Verstappen. And of course, ahead of my teammate. He isn't doing good. You can see the yellow dots on the minimap. And you can see that he is behind a lot of drivers. I don't even think that he's in the points. So yeah, after taking pole position, that's really the worst that can happen. Teammate behind 34 seconds. Oh my god, that's way too big. But as you can see, lap 22, and we are not gaining that much. 4 seconds is still the gap. Daniel Ricciardo is 3 seconds behind me, so we are getting away from him. He's not staying within our DRS range. Luckily he isn't. As we are going purple through the third sector, can we take another fastest lap? As we already have it, but we are going to improve. Is it going to be faster? Yes, it is. With a 129.4. I feel like that was a good lap. So for me, it's quick. Maybe if you are faster, then let me know your fastest lap. Of course, this is a MyTeam car, so this is way faster than it should be in a normal car that you use on time trial. So yeah, I don't know. Lap 25 it is. Only 3 laps to go. 3.5 seconds to Charles Leclerc. We are not overtaking him, or we should be a second faster, but I don't feel like that is happening anytime soon. The gap behind is 5.5 seconds. That's great to see. We need to hold a gap behind as we enter the penultimate lap. Into the hairpin we go, and as you can see, we have a good run out of it, but no, actually we don't. Oh my god. Oh, this is the worst. Luckily we had that 5 second gap, otherwise we would have lost P2. But by the looks of it, oh no, Daniel Ricciardo is side by side with us. Is he going to overtake us? No, he isn't. Luckily he isn't, because otherwise we would have lost P2, and that would lose us 3 points, 18 and 15 points. It could make the difference in the title fight. Of course, after this race we will see how much points is the difference as we go towards last lap. But as you can see, the tire wear is at 50%, so our tires are really gone. Coming out of sector 1, going into sector 2, and Daniel Ricciardo tries to overtake us, and he actually does. We have to leave the space. You always need to leave the space, and we do the switch back on him. We are still side by side. Can we overtake him once again? Yes, we can. Going into the hairpin where we lost it last lap. Okay, we don't lose it this time. That's good, but we lose P2, and that's not good at all. We need to take that position back. But into Spoon Curve we go, and George Russell is really close behind us. Verstappen only 6 cents away. So we are all fighting for P2 right now. And I feel like we need to get the job done to make sure that we can get as many points as possible for the championship. As we are now losing 3 points that we could have had if we were in P2. I don't think that we can overtake him. But we go through 130 and a perfect overtake. Oh my god. Charles Leclerc wins the Japanese Grand Prix. But let's take a look from my front wing what happened there. You can see we took a really different line going to the inside. Not going over track limits for some reason. And we actually managed to overtake Daniel Ricciardo in 130R. And that made us in P2. Coming across the finish line, we finished the race in P2. Oh my god. Okay, that was a bit shorter than usual, but it was an amazing race. Finishing P2, it was damage limitation compared to Leclerc. Of course, we won points over Verstappen. Let's find out how the podium is today.
Another action-packed Japanese Grand Prix comes to an end, and a magnificent drive to take the win today. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today? Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
What a Grand Prix that was. Oh my god. As you can see, Charles Leclerc wins the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's myself in P2 and Daniel Ricciardo finishes in P3. And that makes a podium for today. To be honest, this was one of the best Grand Prix I've ever had. Just because there was so much action. And of course that last lap overtake for P2. I think that could definitely make the difference if we finish in P2 or P1 in the standings. So as you can see, the results so far: George Russell in P4, Max Verstappen in P5, and that all within 13 seconds. Of course, between P2 and P5 it's a lot closer. Oscar Piastri unfortunately finishes in P11 where he started, and Lewis Hamilton actually started P17, so he was the driver who was out in Q1 that I didn't notice. And the difference in the top 3 is only 3 points for the driver standings. It's Leclerc leading the way, Verstappen 2 points behind him, and I am only 1 point behind Verstappen. So that's all to play for in the last 3 races. 95 Racing currently 35 points behind Ferrari. We really need the help of our teammate because otherwise we can't do it. That was it. Wow, that was something else than we are used to. But that was it for today's episode. If you want to see how the United States Grand Prix will go, then please like and subscribe, as it will come out this Sunday. And then I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.